You are being crushed. Every day, the weight of expectation, competition, and your own ambition presses down on you. You feel it in your chest. You see it in your results. This pressure is designed to break you, and for most people, it will. But not for you. This is not a book about coping with pressure. This is a manual for conditioning your mind to feed on it. You will learn to transform the force that breaks others into the fuel that builds you into something unbreakable. Chapter 1. Welcome to the pressure cooker. Listen to me. Let's get one thing straight, right now, before we take another step. The comfort you seek is a trap. The ease you've been promised is a lie. The life you want is on the other side of the very thing you've been taught to run from: pressure. You have been conditioned to see stress as a sickness, pressure as a poison, and high-stakes environments as something to be avoided at all costs. This is the great deception of the modern world, and it is keeping you weak. Pressure is not your enemy. It is the non-negotiable environment for growth. It is the catalyst for transformation. You look at a barbell loaded with weight, and you understand. You know that without the resistance, the muscle will not tear, it will not rebuild, it will not grow stronger. Yet you look at the pressure in your own life, the deadline, the competition, the demanding boss, the risk of failure, and you see it as a burden. You have to change your mind right now. That weight is the only thing that can make you stronger. Pressure is a privilege. You must stop running. You must turn around and face it. More than that, you must start seeking it out. It is the fastest, most brutal, and only effective path to elite performance. You have a choice. You can live in the foothills of your potential, safe and overlooked, or you can begin the climb into the storm, where the air is thin and the rewards are absolute. Understand this immutable law of nature: adaptation only occurs under duress. Nothing in this universe evolves through comfort. A tree that grows in a windless biodome will be tall and weak, collapsing under its own weight. But a tree on a storm-battered cliffside will grow deep roots and thick, powerful wood. It adapts because it has to. It has no other choice. You are no different. Look at the crucible of the Navy SEALs during BUDS. They are not looking for the strongest man or the fastest runner. They are looking for the man who can endure unimaginable, relentless, soul-crushing pressure and not only survive, but get stronger from it. They manufacture stress. They turn up the cold, the exhaustion, the mental chaos, because they know that true strength is not revealed, it is forged. It is forged in the freezing surf and the endless log PT. Those who break were never meant to be there. Those who remain have learned the secret. You don't just tolerate the stress, you learn to use it. You seek the stress because you know it is the only thing that makes you worthy of the trident. This isn't just for soldiers. Look at the startup founder, weeks away from missing payroll, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. The market is turning, the competition is ruthless, and everything is on the line. The pressure is suffocating. Most people would crumble. They would quit. But the elite performer understands that this is the moment. This is the fire that burns away all the trivialities. That pressure forces a level of creativity, focus, and relentless drive that comfort could never, ever produce. It's not about avoiding bankruptcy. It's about becoming the person who can navigate that storm and come out the other side a master of their craft. That's the key. Greatness is born in that moment. Pressure is a privilege. You have been sold a fantasy, the 4-hour work week, the life of passive income, the dream of an existence without friction. It is a siren song leading you to a shipwreck. Comfort is the enemy of your potential. It is a velvet coffin. It will make you soft, slow, and fragile. A life without pressure is a life without growth. It is a flat line on the monitor of your own ambition. You need to hunt for the friction. You must actively seek the stress. Take on the project at work that everyone else is scared of. Start the business you know might fail. Have the difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Sign up for the competition you know you aren't ready for. Every time you choose the harder path, you are casting a vote for a stronger version of yourself. You don't need their permission. You need to give it to yourself. It's not about being reckless. It's about being deliberate. It's about understanding that the feeling of your heart pounding before a big presentation is not fear. It is fuel. The feeling of being overwhelmed by a new challenge is not a signal to retreat. It is a signal that you are at the boundary of your current capabilities. And that boundary is precisely where growth happens. This is the mindset of the champion, the builder, the warrior. They know that pressure is a privilege because it means you are in the arena. It means you are in the game. It means you are alive. Stop praying for an easy life. Start praying for the strength to endure a difficult one. Stop asking for the burden to be lifted. Start asking for a stronger back to carry it. The choice is yours every single day. Choose the weight. Choose the storm. Choose the fire. Seek the stress. The lesson of this chapter is absolute. You must redefine your relationship with pressure. It is not an obstacle to be avoided, but the very tool of your becoming. You must learn to welcome it, to seek it, and to use it as the grinding stone that sharpens you into a weapon. Now that you have accepted the environment, it is time to build the internal structure to dominate it. It's not enough to stand in the fire. You must learn not to be burned. In Chapter 2, The Architecture of the Unbreakable Mind, we will discard the weak foundations of emotional reaction and construct a fortress of disciplined thought from which you will command your state, no matter the storm that rages outside. Chapter 2. The discipline of working in silence. Listen closely. Your ambition is a fire. Every time you open your mouth to talk about what you are going to do, you are letting the heat escape. You are bleeding pressure. You are trading the raw power of potential for a few worthless seconds of social validation. Announcing your goals is a cheap substitute for achieving them. It is the amateur's mistake. You post your new workout plan. You tell your friends about the business you're going to start. You broadcast your intention to write a book. And in that moment, you get a hit of dopamine. Your brain is tricked into feeling a sense of accomplishment. You've been rewarded for the idea of the work, not the work itself. This is a fatal error. It sabotages you before you even begin. Every word you spend talking about your future depletes the energy required to build it. That's the key. Energy is finite. Focus is finite. You have a choice. You can spend it talking, or you can spend it doing. You cannot do both. From this moment on, you will learn the immense power of moving in silence. You will work in silence. We live in an era that worships the process. An era that begs you to share your journey, your struggles, your blueprint. This is a lie sold to you by people who produce nothing. They are content creators, not world builders. They profit from your attention, not your success. Look at the titans of history. The men and women who built empires, reshaped industries, and created timeless art. Did they live stream their brainstorming sessions? Did they poll their followers on which direction to take? No. They went into the wilderness. They went into the garage. They locked themselves in the studio, the workshop, the library. They disappeared. They worked in complete, monastic isolation for months, for years, for decades. They understood a fundamental truth: you must now accept breakthroughs happen in the quiet, not on a stage. They happen in the solitude of deep thought, not in the noise of public opinion. Your focus is your weapon. Every time you explain your plan to someone who hasn't earned the right to hear it, you are handing them your weapon. You are inviting in their doubts, their mediocre suggestions, their empty praise. You are diluting your vision with their noise. You don't need their permission. You don't need their applause. Their validation is a poison that weakens your resolve. Your own commitment must be enough. It's not about getting validation for your hustle. It's about the discipline of the work itself. When you work in silence, something powerful happens. The ambition has nowhere to go but into the project. The pressure builds internally. It creates a force, a relentless drive that can only be released through one thing: completion. You will let that pressure build until it is unstoppable. You will let your ambition compound in the dark until it is ready to be unleashed, not as a promise, but as a finished product. A result, an undeniable fact in the world. Work in silence. The sculptor does not show you the block of marble and ask for your thoughts. He does not show you the first 100 chips on the floor and ask if he's on the right track. He works. He pours his vision, his sweat, his frustration, and his genius into the stone. He works until he is done. Then, and only then, does he pull back the cloth and reveal the masterpiece. The work speaks for itself. It needs no introduction. It needs no explanation. It simply is. This must be your model. Stop talking about the business. Build it. Stop talking about the body you want. Forge it. Stop talking about the book you'll write. Bleed it onto the page. Your focus is your weapon. Stop pointing it at everyone else and start aiming it at the target. You have a choice. Remain a commentator on your own life or become its architect. The constant updates, the stories, the need to be seen, grinding. It is a performance. And performers need an audience. But you are not a performer. You are a builder. You are a creator. Your arena is not the screen, it is the real world. The path is lonely. It has to be. True, world-altering focus demands it. Shut it all down. Disappear from the feeds. Decline the invitations. Let them wonder what you're doing. Let them think you've given up. The silence will feel uncomfortable at first. It will feel like you don't exist. Good. In that void, you will finally hear your own thoughts. You will finally face the work without distraction. That's the key. Your work is the only announcement you ever need to make. Your results are the only press release that will ever matter. Everything else is static. Everything else is a drain. So, from now on, you operate on a new protocol. Head down, mouth shut. You work in silence. Your focus is your weapon. Guard it with your life. The world is addicted to noise. It celebrates loud promises and ignores quiet execution. You will be the opposite. You will be the one who says nothing and does everything. You will let your success be the noise. You have now learned to cut out the external noise, to protect your focus by working in silence. But what about the structure of your day? How do you protect that focus from the chaos of time itself? Mastering silence is the first step. Mastering your schedule is the next. We will now move from the why to the how. Prepare yourself for Chapter 3, the architecture of an unbreakable day. Chapter 3, starve your need for validation. Listen to me. Every time you check for a like, a comment, a positive review, you are injecting a poison into your system. You are an addict, and the drug is approval. This addiction has a name: external validation, and it is making you hopelessly weak. You refresh your screen, hoping for a thumbs up. You change your words, your appearance, your actions, hoping to please a crowd that will forget you exist in 5 minutes. You have outsourced your sense of self-worth to the fleeting opinions of others. You have given them the power to decide if you are good enough, strong enough, worthy enough. They now own you. Validation is a trap. It feels good for a moment, a cheap, synthetic high. But then it fades and you're left craving more. The bar is always moving. The audience is always changing its mind. Chasing their approval is like trying to build a house on quicksand. It is a game you will never win, because the rules are designed by people who do not care if you succeed. You have a choice. You can continue to be a beggar, holding out an empty cup for scraps of praise, or you can decide, right now, to become the sole source of your own esteem. That's the key. You must cut off the supply. You must starve this need until it withers and dies. From this moment forward, you operate on a new principle. You are the only audience. Repeat that. In your mind, at your desk, in the gym. Before the meeting, you are the only audience. The applause of 1,000 people is meaningless noise if you know you cut corners. The criticism of 1,000,000 is irrelevant if you know you gave everything you had, according to your standard. This is the code of the Stoics. They understood that the only things that matter are the things within your control, your effort, your integrity, your character, your intent. The reaction of the world. That is outside your control. It is noise. To base your peace of mind on noise is insanity. It's not about being popular. It's about being principled. It's not about being liked. It's about being effective. You don't need their permission to be proud of your work. You don't need their acknowledgement to know you pushed your limits. Your honest assessment is the only one that carries weight. An hour of brutal, focused work done in silence is worth more than a lifetime of praise for mediocre effort. Validation is a trap. It makes you soft. A pat on the back encourages you to coast. It teaches you to perform for the reward, not for the inherent value of the work itself. You must unlearn this. The work is the reward. The effort is the prize. The discipline you build in the dark, when no one is watching, is the only trophy worth having. I command you to stop. Stop checking the metrics. Stop fishing for compliments. Stop asking, "What did you think?" Instead, at the end of the day, you will stand in front of the mirror and you will conduct a ruthless self-assessment. You will look yourself in the eye and ask the only questions that matter. Did I do what I said I would do? Did I operate with integrity? Did I hold myself to the highest standard, or did I settle? Did I give my absolute best, or was there more left in the tank? There is no room for lies here. There is no one to impress. You are the only audience, and you must become the hardest audience to please. You must become a ruthless judge of your own effort. When you can look yourself in the eye after a day of crushing work and say, "That was acceptable," you will have tasted real power. Not the fleeting power of being liked, but the permanent power of self-mastery. Your internal standard must be so high that any praise from the outside world feels like a cheap echo. It might be nice, but it is unnecessary. Your internal criticism must be so honest and so precise that any external critique feels redundant. You already saw the flaw. You already have a plan to fix it. You are always 10 steps ahead. This is a declaration of independence. You are breaking the chains that tie your spirit to the whims of the crowd. You are taking back control of your emotional state. Your confidence will no longer be borrowed from others. It will be forged in the fire of your own discipline. Let them talk. Let them praise. Let them criticize. It is all the same. It is all external. It cannot touch the fortress you are building inside yourself. The only voice that can grant you peace is your own, and only when you've earned it through action. The world is a noisy distraction. You will learn to tune it out. You are the only audience. This is the foundation. Cutting yourself off from the poison of external approval is the necessary first step. Without it, you are building on nothing. You are a leaf in the wind, but with it, with a core of self-defined worth, you become an unshakable force. You stop performing and you start executing. You stop seeking approval and you start earning respect, most importantly from yourself. Validation is a trap. Self-respect is a fortress. You have now learned to starve the need that makes you weak. You have set the stage for true internal power by becoming your own judge. But this internal fortress must be protected. The world is designed to distract you, to pull you off course with endless noise and meaningless emergencies. Now that you are no longer seeking its approval, you must learn to defend against its constant intrusions. That is why in our next chapter, we will build the walls. We will move from internal validation to external defense. Get ready for Chapter 4, Forge Your Fortress of Focus. Chapter 4. Forge strength from your setbacks. Listen to me. Stop crying about your losses. Stop recounting your failures to anyone who will listen, searching for a drop of pity. Yourself, pity is a poison you willingly drink, and it is weakening you by the second. I am here to tell you that every mistake, every rejection, and every moment you were knocked flat on your back was not a defeat. It was a lesson. It was a payment. Failure is data. You have paid for this data with your time, your energy, your money, and your pain. It is the most expensive and valuable intelligence you will ever acquire. And you are letting it rot. You mourn what you lost instead of mining what you learned. You have a choice. You can see the closed door as a wall, or you can dismantle it to understand its locking mechanism. One path leads to stagnation, the other leads to victory. Failure is data. It is the raw, unfiltered feedback from the battlefield of your ambition. When your business fails, it is the market telling you your strategy was flawed. When your proposal is rejected, it is the world telling you your presentation was weak. When you lose the competition, it is the scoreboard telling you your training was insufficient. These are not personal insults. They are diagnostic reports. The weak man crumples the report and curses his fate. The warrior studies it under a bright light, searching for the single sentence that contains the key to his next attack. That's the key. The discipline to see truth in the pain. Look at any champion you admire. The CEO who dominates their industry. The general whose name is synonymous with victory. The athlete who holds the gold. Do you think their journey was a gentle, upward slope? You are a fool if you do. Their path was a brutal, bloody climb, marked by devastating falls. They were humiliated. They were bankrupted. They were beaten. But they did not quit. They did not hide. They recovered. They assessed. They rebuilt. They came back stronger not in spite of their setbacks, but because of them. They understood that their scars are their strength. Your scars are not blemishes to be hidden with shame. They are marks of survival. They are proof that you were tested by fire, and you did not burn to ash. Each scar is a patch of hardened armor over a place where you were once weak. The cut that taught you to block. The financial ruin that taught you fiscal discipline. The betrayal that taught you to judge character with cold precision. Without these wounds, you would remain soft, vulnerable, and naive. You would break at the first sign of real pressure. Your scars are your strength. They are the forged steel that protects the untested flesh beneath. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about the discipline of dissection. The moment you fail, the work begins. You must become a ruthless strategist reviewing battle footage. Where did the line break? What intelligence was faulty? What was the critical error in judgment? You must do this without emotion, without ego. You don't need their permission to learn from your own life. You are accountable to your ambition and nothing else. Ask the questions. Write down the answers. This is how you turn a loss into a lecture. This is how you ensure you never pay for the same lesson twice. Failure is data. Treat it as such. Create a ledger. On one side, the failure. On the other, the lesson. Be brutally honest. Lost the contract because I was unprepared. Lesson: master the material until it is part of your DNA. Relationship ended because I was complacent. Lesson: anything left untended will die. This ledger is your personal war manual, written in your own blood. It will become more valuable than any book you could ever buy. You are so afraid of looking weak that you refuse to see where you are weak. That is the definition of insanity. Stumbling is not a disgrace. The only disgrace is refusing to learn from the fall. Your scars are your strength. Each one tells a story of survival, a lesson learned, a vulnerability eliminated. A man with no scars is a man with no experience. He is a liability in any real fight. Do not envy him. Pity him. He has never been truly tested. He will shatter. You, on the other hand, are being tested now. The pain you feel from your latest setback is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It is the hot forge shaping you into something unbreakable. You have a choice. You can let the heat melt you into a puddle of regret, or you can let it temper you into a weapon. Stop looking for a way around the hardship. There is no path to the top that does not cross through the valley of failure. It is the proving ground. It is where character is built and weakness is burned away. Every time you get back up, you are stronger than you were before. Every time you analyze a mistake, you are smarter than you were before. Failure is data. Your scars are your strength. The lessons are there, waiting for you in the wreckage of your plans. Have the courage to sift through the debris. Have the discipline to catalog what you find. This is the work. It's not about feeling better. It's about getting better. Your past pain is the fuel for your future dominance. You have forged your armor from failure. You have mined the data from defeat. Now, you will learn how to use that strength to attack. In Chapter 5, Seize the Offensive, we will turn your hardened defense into an unstoppable forward assault. Chapter 5, Stop announcing. Start executing. Listen closely. The world is drowning. It's drowning in talkers, in dreamers, in planners, in grand strategists sitting in coffee shops mapping out empires on napkins. They will throw in the trash. This world does not need another voice telling everyone what they are going to do. It needs hands. It needs action. It needs execution. This chapter is a direct order. Effective immediately, you will cease all announcements. You will cancel the press conference for a company you haven't built. You will delete the draft of the social media post about the marathon you haven't trained for. You will stop boring your friends with the details of the masterpiece you intend to create. Your grand declarations are over. Your period of silent, relentless execution has begun. Execution is the only metric that matters. Not intention, not passion, not the elegance of your vision board. Only the brutal, tangible, undeniable proof of what you have done. Your new mantra is simple deeds, not declarations. Your brain is a simple machine. When you announce a goal, when you tell someone your grand plan, it releases a hit of dopamine. It feels good. It feels like you've already accomplished something. The praise you receive, the encouraging nods, the awe in their eyes. It's a cheap substitute for actual victory. You get the reward without running the race. This is why the world is full of brilliant starters and failed finishers. They get addicted to the applause for the blueprint and never learn to love the sweat of the construction. It's not about getting validation for your idea. It's about the discipline of seeing it through. You have a choice. Consider the two archetypes. First, the announcer. They spend an afternoon creating the perfect vision board. They post it online. The caption is a manifesto of their new life. They get 100 likes. Friends comment, "You've got this?" For a day they are a hero. But the vision board gathers dust. The talk fades. Their energy was spent on the performance of ambition, not the act of it. They built a brand around a building that doesn't exist. Then, there is the executor. The executor is out back, in the mud. They have a trowel, a pile of mortar, and a stack of bricks. They don't have an audience. They have a wall to build. They are not talking about the fortress they will one day have. They are laying the first brick. Then the next. Then the next. The work is hard. It is repetitive. It is silent. No one is watching. No one is cheering. The announcer gets the attention. The executor gets the fortress. Deeds, not declarations. Your new identity is that of the executor. You are a bricklayer. You are measured by the calluses on your hands and the wall rising behind you. You don't need their permission to start laying bricks. You don't need their applause to keep going. The work provides the proof. Nothing else. That's the key. Your pride must be transferred from the idea to the action. Your satisfaction must come from the weight of the tool in your hand, not the sound of your own voice. So what do? You shut your mouth. You look at the monumental task in front of you, and you ignore it. You don't look at the mountain. You look at your boots. You look at the very next rock you must step on. That's it. What is the single immediate, observable action in front of you right now? Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now, is it writing one sentence? Is it sending one email? Is it doing one push-up? Is it laying one brick? Then do it. Execute now? Don't plan to do it. Don't talk about how you're going to do it. Don't strategize the most optimal way to do it. Just do the thing. When it is done, identify the next immediate action. And do that. This is the entire process. It is a relentless, unglamorous forward grind. It is the only thing that works. Your life changes not in the grand announcement, but in the chain of thousands of unannounced, executed moments. Deeds, not declarations. Let them see your results when they are undeniable. Let them discover the fortress when it is already built and casting a shadow over their empty words. Your work will speak for you louder and more powerfully than your mouth ever could. Stop telling people who you are going to be. Start showing them who you are, one action at a time. Execute now. Your legacy will not be the plans you made. It will be the walls you built. Stop announcing. Start building. But this path, the path of the executor, is a lonely one. It requires a different kind of strength, one forged in silence and isolation when no one is watching and no one is cheering. That is where we go next. That is Chapter 6, Forging Strength in Solitude. Chapter 6e, Build a Mind of Iron. Listen closely. Erase every lie you've been told about mental toughness. Erase the idea that it is a gift some are born with and others are not. That is a myth created by the weak to justify their weakness. Mental toughness is not a personality trait. It is a conditioned response. It is not an inheritance. It is a weapon you forge in fire. Today, you begin your training. This is not self-help. This is combat training for your brain. Your mind, in its current state, is soft. It has been conditioned by a lifetime of comfort seeking. When faced with pressure, it defaults to the path of least resistance. It seeks distraction. It entertains doubt. It begs you to quit. This is not a personal failing. It is a failure of programming. And we are here to rewrite the code. You have a choice. You can continue allowing your mind to be your master, or you can take command and make it your obedient servant. The work starts now. You must condition your mind. The foundation of this process is voluntary hardship. You will no longer wait for life to test you. You will become the architect of your own trials. You must deliberately, methodically, and consistently put yourself in situations you want to flee. This is how you build a mind that does not break under load because you have taught it how to bear weight. This is not theory. This is a regimen. Starting today, you will hunt for discomfort. You will wake up before you want to. Not because you have to, but to prove you can. You will take the cold shower. Not for any mystical health benefit, but to teach your body to obey your will, not your whining instincts. When you feel the sting of the cold water, you will not flinch. You will lean into it. You will embrace the discomfort. That small, daily act of defiance against your own weakness is a deposit in the bank account of your mental fortitude. When you train your body, you will do one more rep than you planned. When you work, you will stay 10 minutes longer than you scheduled. When you have a choice between the easy task and the hard one, you will choose the hard one every single time. It's not about being a masochist. It's about discipline. It's about systematic desensitization. Each time you choose the hard path, you file down the sharp edges of fear and doubt. You build a callus on your brain. That's the key. You are teaching your mind that its panicked signals, the urge to stop, to rest, to escape, are irrelevant. They are merely noise. You do not need their permission to continue. You must condition your mind. It learns through repetition. The mediocrity you see everywhere is the result of people who have conditioned their minds to retreat. When they feel tired, they stop. When they feel bored, they seek novelty. When they feel afraid, they run. You will do the opposite. When you feel tired, you will push harder. When you feel bored, you will increase your focus. When you feel afraid, you will advance. You will embrace the discomfort until it feels like home. This is your new non-negotiable protocol. First, identify your comforts. Write them down. The extra 10 minutes of sleep. The sugary snack in the afternoon. The mindless scrolling on your phone. The habit of putting off the difficult conversation. These are your targets. Each day, you will deny yourself at least one of them. Not as a punishment, but as a drill. This denial sharpens your will. It reminds you who is in control. Second, you will practice active immersion in what you resist. The cold shower is the entry point, but it extends everywhere. Hate making sales calls. Make 10 before you do anything else. Dread organizing your finances. Dedicate 30 minutes to it first thing in the morning. Your fear points the way. The thing you least want to do is the very thing you must do. You have a choice. Let that resistance dictate your life, or smash through it and claim your power. You will embrace the discomfort. Doubt will come. The urge to quit will scream at you. This is part of the process. Do not fight these feelings. Acknowledge them. Hear the voice that says, "This is too hard. You can't do this." Then, perform the act anyway. Let your actions be your answer. The voice will get quieter. Not because it is gone, but because you have conditioned your mind to ignore its commands. You have proven, through repetition, that you are the authority. That is the only outcome that matters. It is not about feeling strong. It's about being strong when you feel weak. It's not about eliminating fear. It's about acting in the presence of fear. This is the difference between the amateur and the professional. The amateur waits for the right mood. The professional creates it through action. You don't need permission from your feelings to execute. You need to condition your mind to perform on command, regardless of the internal weather. Your mind is a muscle. Right now, it is atrophied. These drills are your weights. At first, they will feel impossibly heavy. Good. That means they are working. Waking up early will hurt. The cold water will shock you. The extra rep will burn. Embrace it all. That friction, that resistance, that is the feeling of weakness leaving your system. It is the feeling of an iron will being forged. Do not expect this to be easy. Expect it to be the hardest thing you have ever done. But also expect results. Expect to become unrecognizable to your former self. A mind that once buckled under the slightest pressure will soon stand firm in the face of chaos. A will that once shattered is being rebuilt, piece by piece, into something unbreakable. Your mind is your primary weapon. Until it is hardened, every other tool, every other strategy is useless. A weak mind will sabotage the most brilliant plan. A strong mind can salvage victory from the jaws of defeat. Build it. Sharpen it. Make it lethal. Condition your mind. Embrace the discomfort. You have now begun the work of forging the weapon. Your mind is being hardened into iron. But a weapon is useless if it is not wielded with precision and relentless intent. In the next chapter, we move from building strength to applying force. Get ready for Chapter 7, Execute without hesitation. Chapter 7, Detach your ego from the outcome. We come now to the most dangerous enemy you will ever face. It does not live across a battlefield. It is not a competitor in the boardroom or a rival in the gym. It lives inside your own skull, and it has been sabotaging you since the day you were born. We are talking about your ego. Your ego is the enemy. It is the weakest, most fragile, most demanding part of your identity, and if you allow it into the arena, it will guarantee your defeat. Your mission is to surgically remove it from every action you take. The ego is the part of you that craves a trophy. It's the part that needs the applause. It's the voice that whispers, "What will they think of me if I fail?" It's the voice that screams, "Look at what I accomplished," when you succeed. Both are poison. Both chain you to the opinions of others. Both make you weak. When you tie your sense of self to an outcome, you have already lost. Because you cannot guarantee the outcome. You can only guarantee your effort. You can only guarantee your focus. You have a choice: attach yourself to the unpredictable result, or attach yourself to the unwavering process. Only one of these builds a warrior. Control the process, not the result. I want you to burn an image into your mind. Picture a bomb disposal technician. They are suited up, sweat beading on their forehead, staring at a complex web of wires. The clock is ticking. One wrong move means oblivion. Now, what is that technician thinking about? Are they thinking about the medal they might get if they succeed? Are they dreaming of the parades and the news interviews? No. Are they frozen by the thought of the explosion, of the failure, of the end? No. Their entire universe has shrunk to a single point of focus: the next correct move. It is the red wire, or the blue one. It is the steady hand required to make the cut. It is the process, executed with absolute precision, one step at a time. The medal does not matter. The explosion does not matter. All that matters is the task at hand. That is the mindset you will adopt. Your project, your negotiation, your training session. That is your bomb. You are the technician. Your entire world must shrink to the next correct action. Forget the promotion. Forget the fear of being fired. Forget the praise and forget the criticism. Focus on the wire. Control the process, not the result. That's the key. Your ego is the enemy because it constantly tries to pull you out of this state of pure focus. When things are going well, the ego wants to celebrate early. It wants to take a victory lap before the race is over. It distracts you from the final, critical steps. When things are going poorly, the ego panics. It looks for someone to blame. It floods your mind with shame and doubt, making it impossible to see the solution right in front of you. It makes the outcome personal. It whispers that a failed project means you are a failure. It screams that a successful deal means you are a genius. Both are lies. You are not your results. You are your process. This detachment is not a passive wish. It is an active, aggressive discipline. It's not about feeling nothing. It's about refusing to be controlled by your feelings. When you achieve a victory, you will feel the ego swell up, demanding recognition. You must crush it, acknowledge the result, analyze the process that worked, and immediately shift your focus to the next task. The winner's data, not a crown. You don't need their permission or their applause to validate your work. Your reward was the execution itself. When you suffer a defeat, the ego will shriek, demanding you feel shame and hide your face. You must defy it. Look the failure directly in the eye. Acknowledge the result without emotion. Analyze the flawed process that led you there. Extract the lesson, integrate it. and immediately move on to the next task. The loss is data, not a death sentence. You have a choice. Live as a slave to the highs of victory and the lows of defeat, a puppet whose strings are pulled by every outcome. Or live as a master of the process, unshakable, consistent, and anti-fragile. A win doesn't make you arrogant. A loss doesn't make you disappear. You simply continue the work. Your ego is the enemy. It tells you that you deserve things. It tells you that your brilliant idea should be enough. It's a lie. The world owes you nothing. Your brilliant idea is worthless without relentless, flawless, ego-free execution. It's not about having the best plan. It's about having the best discipline during the chaos of implementing that plan. It's about being the bomb technician, not the person hoping the bomb doesn't go off. Stop seeking validation. The work itself is the validation. Showing up every day is the validation. Honing your craft when no one is watching is the validation. Control the process, not the result. Let others ride the emotional roller coaster of their wins and losses. You will remain steady. You will remain focused. You will remain on task. While they are celebrating a minor victory, you are preparing for the next war. While they are mourning a small defeat, you are already implementing the lessons learned. That is your advantage. That is your power. Detach. Execute. Repeat. You have now learned to master your physical domain, to architect your time, to command your focus, and to conquer the internal traitor that is your own ego. You have stripped away the non-essential. You have silenced the noise. You have learned that the battle is won or lost based on the systems you build and the discipline you enforce, long before you ever step into the arena. But what do you build upon this cleared ground? Once the ego is detached, what remains? What do you forge in its place? This brings us to the final, binding element. It brings us to the permanent structure that will stand long after every battle is over and every opponent has gone home. This brings us to the final chapter. Chapter 8, the Iron Core. Forging your unbreakable will. Chapter 8, let your results do the talking. We have arrived at the endpoint. This is the final stage of the discipline you have been building. This is where the transformation becomes total. Pay attention. The ultimate goal is not to win arguments, to persuade with clever words, or to sell a vision. The goal is to make your voice entirely unnecessary. The endpoint of this entire process is a state of profound, powerful silence. A state where your work, your performance, and your achievements speak for you with a volume that no words could ever match. This is the ultimate form of power. For 7 chapters, you have learned to master the self, to cut out the noise, to starve the ego, to focus on the process, not the praise. Now, you will learn to let the consequences of that discipline become your new language. The world is full of talkers. They broadcast their intentions. They announce their next move. They live in a fantasy of future greatness, fueled by the hollow calories of other people's approval. You will not be one of them. You have a choice. You can be the architect who describes the skyscraper, or you can be the one who builds it. The world forgets the description. It cannot ignore the structure standing before it. Show, don't tell. This is not a suggestion. It is a command. It is the defining principle of the master. The amateur needs to explain their value. The professional demonstrates it. The amateur asks for respect. The professional commands it through undeniable competence. Every moment you spend talking about what you are going to do is a moment you are not doing it. Every ounce of energy spent on crafting a narrative is energy stolen from crafting your reality. Stop telling the world who you are. Start showing them. Your results are your only voice. When you have worked in the dark, when no one was watching, when you chose the difficult rep over the easy conversation, you were not just training a muscle or a skill. You were forging an objective fact. You are laying the foundation of an undeniable reality. Your discipline, executed relentlessly and in silence, creates a body of work that requires no explanation. It needs no defense. It asks for no validation. It simply exists. It is a mountain. People can try to argue with it, ignore it, or resent it, but they cannot wish it away. It's there. That's the key. You build a truth so solid that it becomes part of the landscape. You will not have to sell yourself. The work will sell itself. You will not have to explain your vision. The results of that vision will be visible to everyone. You will not have to ask for a seat at the table. Listen to me. Your results will build the table. Your results will send out the invitations. Your results will demand that others come to you. This is the great reversal of power. The world stops telling you what you are worth, and you begin to show them. You don't need their permission. You never did. You were just conditioned to think you did. Your proof of work is the only permission slip you will ever need. Let their chatter fade into the background. Let them debate potential. Let them trade in theories and promises. You will trade in absolutes. In things that are done. Finished. Real. It's not about arrogance, it's about certainty. The certainty that comes from enduring the process. The quiet confidence forged in the fires of 1,000 failures and 1,001 attempts. The person who has done the work has an aura that the talker can never replicate. It is a stillness, a weight, a presence that communicates more than a speech ever could. Your results are your only voice. Let them be loud. Let them be clear. Let them be uncompromising. When you enter a room, your reputation, built on a foundation of solid, tangible achievements, should precede you. It should answer the questions before they are asked. Who are you? Look at the work. What can you do? Look at the history. Why should we listen? Because the proof is right there. This is the freedom you have been working for. The freedom from the need to be liked. The freedom from the need to be understood. The freedom from the need to be validated by a committee of opinions. You have a choice. Live your life seeking applause, or build a monument that earns it without asking. The applause is fleeting. The monument stands. Show, don't tell. When you fail, show them how you get back up. When you succeed, show them the next thing you are building. When they doubt you, show them your work ethic. Words are cheap. They are wind. Action is expensive. It is iron. It is concrete. It builds the world. Your results are your only voice. Let that voice echo. Let it shake the foundations of mediocrity. Let it be the final word in every argument. The work is done. Not the work of your life, but the work of this transformation. You now possess the tools. You understand the principles. The path is no longer a mystery. It is a choice. A choice you make every single day. To silence the ego. To embrace the process. To find your reward in the effort itself. And finally, to step back and let the outcome speak for you. Your journey from this point forward is defined by this one final principle. Let your results do the talking. Now go and give them something to talk about. You have been given the blueprint. The choice is now yours. You can continue to drown in the noise, seeking approval from people who do not matter, breaking under the slightest pressure. Or you can begin the conditioning. You will welcome the pressure cooker. You will work in silence. You will starve your need for validation and detach your ego from the outcome. You will stop announcing and start executing. You will build a mind of iron, forged in setbacks, immune to distraction. Your results will become your only voice, a roar that shakes the very ground you walk on. This is not motivation. This is a command. The work begins now. Close this audiobook and go build something that cannot be ignored. The silence is your workshop. The pressure is your fuel. Go to work.